I'd like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam peoples. Eliot White-Hill is the artist behind our 2021 Orange Shirt Day t-shirt design. I sat down with Eliot to discuss his design and the message he wanted to send with his artwork, entitled Truth.
Siamna siaya, antapet Kwulasultun tinitsanakl snanemoch, hait seepka kwanzalipska kipa tanakwel. What I just said is my traditional name is Kwulasultun. I come from the Snuneymuxw First Nation, and I'm really grateful to be here with you all speaking today. My name's Eliot White-Hill. I come from the Snuneymuxw First Nation in Nanaimo, and I'm a Coast Salish artist and storyteller. So the middle of the design, you see the four faces of the children, and the use of four is significant. And so the tears of the children and what happened to these children is our reality. This is our inheritance as a nation. It composes the world that we live in, and that this is the water that we as a people today have to paddle through, and these are the spaces that we have to navigate. The peoples canoeing around the outside of the circle represent that, and how all of us are coming together to navigate this space, and that we're paddling together. And the artwork kind of poses the question of where do we go from here? And I don't really have an answer to that, but I just know that our teachings talk about transformation and that healing is always there for us when we open ourselves to it. And so, when it comes to speaking about grief on the scale of that which we're experiencing, I don't think that it's something that we can just leave behind, but rather that this is a cycle of healing that we're in, and it's a cyclical transformation that takes place. And so that's a little bit about the artwork. I think the message is that this is the reality that we live in, and bringing awareness to that, to honor the children and to honor the residential school survivors. The awareness is a big part. I think that, for so many people that I've seen speaking about this and talking to, it's coming as a shock to them. And that's, it's really surprising to me that this is something that people are just learning about. But it's critical that we continue to do that work and that people continue to learn about the realities of this country and that we don't allow it to just be swept under the rug. For sure, one of my biggest influences is my grandma, Joyce White-Hill. She's a residential school survivor, and she's just such an incredible person, she's the matriarch of our family, our part of the family, and she's just worked so hard throughout her life to, promote education. She worked with Vancouver Island University, or Malaspina at the time, to help create the Indigenous Studies program there. She worked with Kwame Laylam, which is a child and family services organization on the island for a really long time. And just, she worked so hard to promote education and childcare within our communities. And she just showed me what it means to look after your family, what it means to look after future generations, and to do that work, and how serious it is and important it is. And she inspires me so much with my artwork. And that's, from an artistic standpoint, that's what I want to do too. As a Coast Salish artist, I have a lot of responsibility to my community to ensure that our art's used properly, that it tells our stories in a good way and in a way that, our community collectively supports and approves of, and that this is who we are. Our art is such a critical part of who we are as a people. It's material culture. Our visual art, that's the historical stuff, is some of the strongest instances of who we are that we have left. After all of the erasure and suppression of colonization and ongoing colonialism. So we have a serious duty to make sure that our art's used in a good way and that we're telling stories that are going to benefit people and educate others about who we are. And to continue to do that work is a real honor. I think that when it comes to working with subjects like truth and this sort of thing, it's the same responsibility that we have when using our art in the traditional way. And it has to be taken seriously, and you can't tread lightly when you're working with this. You have to think carefully about the way that you're making your art, the way that you're speaking about it, because it has serious ramifications in our communities, and it has a lot of weight to it. And it's in a way that's difficult to comprehend, really, but that's how it is. And so we have to be very serious when we're working with these subjects. I think the big message of this work is how important it is that we come together and that we aren't alone. Even with all of the grief and the skikalis, the sadness that comes with these things that we're experiencing, we're never alone. That's one of the things that my great-grandma would always talk about, is that, it's all about opening yourself. And it's not just to other people, but to the energy of the land. And that the land is always there for us, and the beings here are always there for us. And that, when you need help, you go and you ask for it, and you open yourself, and it's going to be there for you. And, I think that that's such a critical thing, is that we have to be there for each other, and we have to think about how we're being there for each other, how we're supporting each other through all of this, as we do this work to heal and to continue to work against this really dark history.